Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Gregory and I'm a teacher. I also have a tuition centre called Youth Matters Tuition. I have helped hundreds and hundreds of children to do their very best in the grammar school entrance exams, possibly even thousands actually. And I did do the 11 plus myself, although it was an awfully long time ago, probably around the same time that dinosaurs roamed the earth. But hey, it hasn't changed that much. Now, as the 11 plus approaches, I'm going to post a short video on YouTube every day on my channel Youth Matters Tuition to help you with the things that you really need to know. Today, I'm going to be telling you about the test and giving you some general hints and tips. Make sure you watch until the end or you really might miss something important. So here goes. Firstly, there is no magic wand. If only it were that easy. But never mind, you don't need magic to succeed. Next, what type of test is it? Well, it can be set by GL assessment or by CEM, slightly different formats for each. But both tests use multiple choice answer sheets, usually with a choice of 4 answers, A, B, C or D. You'll need to take 2 pencils and a rubber to the test. And the first tip I'm going to give you is to make sure you shade the answer box clearly with your pencil. If you're not sure of the answer, don't be tempted to shade more than 2 squares in the box, as this will be marked wrong. The answer sheets are actually marked by computer. Also, if you're not sure, just have a go. You have a 1 in 4 chance of getting the answer right. And incidentally, what percentage is that? 2 seconds. Okay, if you said 25%, well done. If not, you need to revise your fractions and percentages, but I will be giving you help with this in the next episode, tomorrow. So there'll be 2 papers, each one's divided into sections which are timed. And the test, whichever format it is, contains sections on English comprehension, verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning and maths. There's what's called a short maths paper, which is based on calculations, so short, quick questions, and a longer maths paper, which is based on application or using calculations to solve problems. Those questions are often divided into 3 or 4 parts, and it's really important to get the first part of the question right, otherwise you'll get the other 3 parts wrong usually. Next, how are the scores weighted in the test? And what does that actually mean? Well, what that means is what proportion of the total marks are awarded for each section. So here goes. Approximately 50% is for English and verbal reasoning, approximately 30% is for maths, and a smaller 20% for non-verbal reasoning. Now we're going to talk about timing. Depending on which provider and which format you're taking, but for both of them there are 2 papers, but for one each paper lasts 50 to 60 minutes, or for the other there are 2 papers of around 40 minutes each. Do you know roughly how long you have to answer each question? Okay, it's about 30 seconds per question. Ouch. But bearing that in mind, it's probably a good idea to leave any questions that you're really struggling with and go on to the ones that you find a little bit easier. But do be careful, make sure you shade the right box on the answer sheet. Don't just go on to the next box or they'll all be wrong. So double check this. It would be awful if you got all the questions wrong simply because you shaded the wrong answer boxes. Okay, just a few more hints and tips now. You can do working out on the question papers, as these actually don't get marked, and sometimes this is a good idea for longer maths questions or very large calculations. Sometimes we just can't hold that much information in our heads. And now I'm going to tell you something that you've probably already been told 1,000 times, yawn yawn, but don't fall asleep just yet. It's really important. Read the question carefully, then read it again, and maybe even again, but make sure you know exactly what the question is asking you, whichever section you're doing. You'd be surprised just how many children still lose a lot of marks pointlessly simply because they've rushed reading the question and they don't read it properly. A really common one is to give the opposite of a word instead of one with a similar meaning, or an antonym when the question asks for a synonym, and vice versa. So don't do that. Really don't do that. Okay, that's it for today. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, feel free to like, share and subscribe to the channel, but be sure to get your parents' permission first. In tomorrow's episode, which will be available from 11 a.m, I'm going to be revising decimals, fractions and percentages and teaching you some really useful tips about what exactly you need to remember. So I'm going to try and simplify it a bit for you. You will need some paper and something to write with tomorrow. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care and keep practicing and keep calm. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.